I was only going to do one video today, but I noticed it was Thursday. Thursday already. Yeah. So I got a big chunk of Obsidian from Brian Olson, who was good enough to biface it. Let's see, it says Brian O. Glass Buttes. This is from Glass Buttes, Oregon. It's banded. See? You don't believe me? I don't have trouble with that. You guys believe me when I say stuff. Most of the time, I don't blame you for not believing me and not taking me seriously, because I'm not always serious. But I'm going to try to be serious in this video, because this is not easy stuff. As you can tell, it likes to do the scoop outs at the end of the flake, even with big old flakes. It's not just a little flake problem. Yeah, and that's not too bad at this stage, but once it gets thin, all you guys that have been watching the channel, you know, it's a whole different ball game once it starts getting thin. What am I doing now? I gotta take off some big old flakes. I gotta get ready to take off big old flakes, and there's some delicate areas on the edges. I can't knock off big flakes from the delicate areas, so I've got to modify the edge. Which means I need to remove the weak and crushed nasty areas before I can start thinning it down with big old flakes. Yeah. We're going to have some crazy weather. Yes, yes. But it looks like it won't be too bad overall. Just once in a while we're going to get some crazy stuff. Now hopefully we won't get freezing rain and ice storms, because then the risk of the power outage is pretty high when that happens. I'm not looking forward to that, although I'm ready. Mostly I got to get some more batteries. Yeah. Let me see what we got here. I can already tell it's going to be a little bit crushy, but it's not too bad. So I have to very carefully remove the edge. I don't want to remove too much, because if I do, it limits my options. You know, I'd like to have plenty of material to work with and not get it real narrow right away. Yeah. Okay, so almost there. This takes a little while because I'm not doing it with the Abrader. I'm going to have to break out the Abrader here soon, like right now. I can do the whole thing with the bopper, but it's slower, because I have to go very slow and very gently. Gently. Yeah. That's how you pronounce it, right? No? Oh well. Yeah, on my channel news video, someone commented they've been watching me for 4 years but didn't know what I look like. I think that's what he said. You're not what I pictured you to be at all. He said something like that. Yeah, I still find it amazing that people can be watching my channel for a long time and never see one of the videos where I show myself. I've got lots of them. They just don't, for some reason, they've never seen one. I should do like an intro. No, I shouldn't. I decided many years ago I was not going to do intros to my videos because I hate watching the videos that have intros. Yeah. Good thing now you can just triple tap up here in the corner. As long as you don't hit any of the symbols up here, just tap here in this area 1 2 3 and it'll zoom, it'll advance at 10 seconds, or you can tap over here 3 times and it'll go back 10 seconds. You ever try that? You touch the screen on your phone when the video is playing, like in landscape like this. It works in the other vertical format too, but just 1 2 3 tap 1 2 3 and it'll advance 10 seconds. Back here it'll tap tap tap, it'll go back 10 seconds. You can skip through intros like that, or you can just use a tried and true, touch the screen and you'll see this little bar with a little red dot. You can advance the dot, or you can move that bar up and it'll display a series of screenshots, and then as you move your finger across, you can see where it is in the screenshots, where you are. You can see where I start napping, or where I start or stop napping, or whatever. YouTube's features are pretty good, but people don't take advantage of it. They just make dumb comments sometimes. I don't like it when you talk too much in the beginning. Well, just go down here and touch the screen. There's a bar and there's a red dot. You can move the red dot, or you can scoot up this bar and it'll reveal all the little screenshots in a sequence, and then you can look and see, okay, this is where he starts. And you can, I don't know if, I can't remember if you can click on the screenshot or move the red button. Whatever, you can advance it to that spot where it looks interesting and then hit play. Yeah, you don't have to go through the intro. You don't have to go through the yip yap at the beginning. You don't have to watch me do all this abrading. Okay, so I'm going to use the rough one first in the beginning. The rough bopper. I got 2 boppers. Good. Nasty. Use the nasty one in the beginning so you won't ruin the good one. Yeah, unless you got plenty of money, then you can just toss these out or give them away and buy new ones. If you're Mr. Moneybags, you can work with new tools all the time. I think that was a natural crack. It's natural. It means it's healthy for you, right? No. Just like nutrition, natural doesn't always mean good in Flintknapping. Just because it's natural doesn't mean it's healthy for you in nutrition and in Flintknapping. Let's see. So if there's a natural crack, the first thing is to get rid of it, or to nap it out. Yeah. I have to nap that away. I don't want it sitting in there. No, I don't. Because it rears its ugly head. It's ugly. Yeah. still got some right there. Look at that, nasty, ugly. Did it go away? No, still some in there. I should be more careful when I do this. But you know me, I'm never that careful because I'm not too concerned about length, because length is a bummer. Makes everything more difficult. It's 10 inches right now. I'm probably going to lose an inch. When I'm done, it will be 9, but it's still good. Yeah. We'll see. The thicker I make it, the more successful I'll be at not breaking it. You have to be successful at not breaking it. Did you not break it? Yeah, I didn't break it. That's the number one measure of success. That you did not break it. You can thin it down like crazy and then break it, and what good does it do you? Doesn't do you any good. In fact, you wasted it. I didn't waste it because it's good for experience. Well, yeah, but if you keep doing it, and then you complain to me, I can't stop breaking them. What am I doing wrong? You're making them too thin. No, I don't want to hear that. Tell me anything else except I'm making them too thin. That's the only thing I don't want to hear. I can't help you then. Sorry. Sometimes I just can't help. I'm not able to help. Nope. I try to answer questions, but I can't always fix the problems. Ouch, that felt like it was gonna go, but it didn't. Oh boy. I can see where this is gonna go. See, I can use these for arrowheads, right? Is that where that went? Somewheres? Did it go here? It looks like it goes here. Oh yeah. Yes? No? So, how about this one? It's one of these with a nice sharp tip. Okay, excuse me while I have a senior moment. It looks like this one fits in there, but apparently not. Anyway, I'm worried about the tendency to dive. Let's try a hard hit. Let's see what that does. Alright, so that was an incomplete flake. It did go that far. That's interesting that it went that far. I didn't think it went that far. Yeah. Alright, so I've got to think about this. What kind of flakes are these? This material, it feels pretty good. I mean, it doesn't feel like it's too divey, but apparently it is. And sneaky. See how it did stop here earlier, right? Like it had a point right up there, but I didn't know it had continued. I don't think it keeps continuing, does it? Yeah, that's not a good situation. Let's see. So I've got to be very careful about how much force I use. Yeah. Got to kind of hold back a little bit and not try to do too much because it'll dive. Yeah. It's a bummer. Yeah. It wants to scoop at the end. The terminations are not that great. See that? It does that stuff. I mean, as long as it goes past halfway, you're okay. Or I'm okay. But when it starts getting thin, it does that. It's not okay. So I have to be very gentle like that to make sure that it will terminate well. Which means there has to be plenty of convexity. Which means it has to be thick. Yeah. That's the other thing that people don't want to hear, is leave it thick. Yeah. That didn't go all the way. It means it's too wide. Still too wide. Well, I got some good Arrowhead flakes. Yeah. And these are banded. I will start a new basket. Hold on. I gotta clear this area a little bit. Okay. Let's collect some, just because a lot of people are going, wait, what do you do with all the flakes that are good? I put them in a basket. You can get these at Walmart for like dollar something, less than $2 for a little basket. Yeah, that's where to get it from. Last time I went in, I bought like 20 of these. I bought the whole shelf of these little baskets. They had about 20 of them, or more. I think they come in a pack of 6 or something. I might have bought like 30 of them. 5 packs. Because they're so useful. Yeah. Some of these are, they're not that great. But, I'll throw them in there. It's better to save them all and then sort them out later. Save all the ones that look kind of good. That does not look good. It's too curved. The ones that are way too curved or way too thin, they make you miserable. Yeah. You'd think it would be a nice one to have, but they make you miserable. Not worth it. Alright, let's clean this up. Why am I cleaning it up now? It makes it easier to do it in stages like this. Because, well, it also helps to prevent the biface from breaking if I drop it accidentally. Sometimes I've been known to drop this onto a nice big old flake and snap it somewhere, or ding it on the edges. Alright. If I think about this too much, I'll mess it up. So I gotta talk about other things. You want to see how I actually nap, right? You don't want to see how I nap trying to do the video and at the same time. You want to see how I actually nap without being distracted by the video. Yeah. If I start explaining, you're not seeing how I actually nap. Maybe you don't want to see how I actually nap. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to make it more narrow because it's still too wide. Yeah. Do it carefully. Yeah, if I give you the play-by-play, it's not how I actually knap. Because if I give you the play-by-play, I'm thinking way too much. The whole purpose of this exercise is to get good at it to the point where you don't have to think too much about it. Why? So you can focus on other things. Yeah. What other things can you focus on? The overall design. Yeah. The overall look of the piece. You can focus on that without having to focus on the mechanics of removing each flake. Or you can think about it this way. You can just strategize without having to be involved in the tactics. Your subconscious can take over the tactical part while you strategize about the big picture. The big picture here for me is just to make a long piece without breaking it. Because these bifaces just by themselves sell pretty well. They sell sufficiently well. I was looking on Facebook at some other stuff for sale just out of curiosity. And usually when a Flintknapper puts up something for sale and names the price, it's about 30% higher than what is the market value. Like if it's a $100 item, they usually jack it up another 30% and try to sell it for $130, as an example. For me, I don't, I had a hard time trying to figure out how much I was going to charge for these things. The auction makes it a little bit easier. Well, actually, it makes it a lot easier to sell, for me to mentally prepare myself to sell these things, because I don't actually have to name the price. It's all determined by the auction. All I got to do is look at the general trends on what people are bidding on, and just, kind of make what they like. Not always make what they like, but keep in mind that a lot of people like just the plain biface, so they can modify it if they want. Or make it thin enough, make it really thin, that something that they can't do. That sells pretty well too. Not just the length, but the thinness. If they can't get it thinned down, they'll buy it already thinned down. That sort of thing. I have sold completed pieces, and I do have a formula for what I charge. I charge $6.50 per inch as a base, and then I go up from there depending on the material. or the complexity of the point, or the difficulty. But I start with a baseline of like $6.50 per inch. So if it's 10 inches long, it's 65 bucks. If there's nothing complicated about it. That sort of thing. If it starts to get complex, like if I'm making like an Aztec blade with little eyes and teeth on it that I glue on, or something like that, it goes up in price. If I name a price. Yeah. Some people have emailed me and asked me how do I determine how much I should charge. So I tell them $6.50 per inch. That'll change over time because of inflation. Yeah, but that's the baseline. And then from there you can decide how much more to charge if it's very difficult for you to do it, or the material is rare, or you just got lucky with that piece. You don't think you'll ever be able to make one like that ever again. I mean, you can double the price. But I see guys that they'll double the price on something that they can make again tomorrow. Easy. Yeah. That's not the way I price my stuff. Everyone has their own little system, I suppose. So yeah, if I talk about something else other than my play-by-play, how do I remove these flakes, I can nap better if I don't explain it. Okay? For those of you who are new, if I don't explain it to you, I can nap better. Because I'm not distracted by trying to make sense. Sometimes guys will tell me, I didn't follow what you were saying. I couldn't follow it. I was trying to explain what I do as I'm doing it. And it doesn't always come out correctly, or I'm not clear somehow. So it's better that I don't try to explain. It might have diminishing returns. It depends on the piece too. If I've done a lot of that particular item, yeah, I can probably explain more. Or if the material is easy, so to speak, relatively easy to nap, I can explain stuff. But if it's challenging, I let my subconscious take over, because I don't want to waste all that time developing my subconscious muscle memory. I spent years doing this so I can develop a muscle memory, so I don't have to think about it too much, because if you have to think about it constantly, it's not enjoyable. And yeah, it can be enjoyable. As long as it doesn't get too sweaty. Yeah. As long as there's not too much stress. Okay. Inward force is not working that well. Yeah, so let's see, let's make it more narrow. Yeah, it's still too wide, and the edges are still too thin, or not still too thin, but they are too thin. And yeah, every time you trim, you're wasting material, but in the end, if you don't break it, it's not that much of a waste. It's only a waste if you end up breaking it. Yeah. Or, actually, no, there's more to it than that. If you end up breaking it, it's a waste. If you end up with something that you don't want, like I was trying to make a two-pointed item and I only got 1 point because I couldn't do it. You know, if you don't get what you want from it, it's also a fail and a waste. If you don't get flakes that you want from it, it can also be a fail or a waste. You know, you want some Arrowhead flakes. You don't want a bunch of crud flakes that you can't use. You want to be able to use some of these in the future. Yeah, because you go to Glass Buttes only once a year. You need this stuff to last you a whole year. Oh no. At 250 pounds a year? I mean, you might not get 250 pounds on your first trip. You might only get 100 pounds of the best possible stuff you could find. Because it takes time to get the good stuff. Anyways. Sometimes when I'm talking, I don't make sense either. If it, you know, I'm talking about the non-flint-knapping stuff. But if I'm talking about non-flint-knapping stuff and it doesn't make sense, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. I got a copyright strike because I made a tune with one of my bifaces when I was testing it. For it's stupid. The people who made a copyright strike on me are stupid because the entire song that claims copyright on my material is all synthesized. So this is not synthesized tones. This is real glass tones, or you know, Obsidian. But no, I gotta dispute some of these copyright strikes because I've gotten copyright strikes based on other stupid stuff in the background. The bells, the church bells. The church bells aren't stupid. It's the people who claim the copyright are stupid because they think the sounds that are in the background of my videos are their music. Yeah. So I gotta figure out how to make or dispute that. I think I did dispute it one time, but I forgot what I did. Okay. Why do I hit it out in the air like this? Because it's my style. Yeah, it's a stupid style, but it's my style. Why don't I have a pad and go boom, boom, boom like this? Because I don't like it. This gives me a better range of motion. And the flakes don't come flying up as much. When I'm down here like this, the flakes come flying up into my face a lot of times. Not to mention the little bruisings that I used to get that were annoying. During the flint knapping, any little distraction, any little annoyance can mess you up because you get kind of sick of it. Yeah. Well, you guys with neurotypical brains, you can handle it, but the ADHDs out there, they get sick of stuff. Can't handle it. Can't handle it calmly, right? Yeah, we can handle it, but the brain's in the background going, stop, stop. What are you doing? I have other boppers I can be using. My friend Mike Tufts sends me boppers, but I'm just used to using this type on the big blades. This type on the big blades. I gotta start using the other fancy ones more often, but I'm gonna use it on stuff that I can be learning on. I can't be taking time to learn to use the other boppers on this stuff. In case you're wondering. But yeah, I do explore other tools. Yeah. But I'm not going to force myself, because then it messes up the flint nip. Yeah. Dang it. It's too crunchy. I'm trying to be gentle, but it's too crunchy. I'm gonna have to switch over to indirect percussion. Yeah, woe is me. Try a little bit of a different hold on the billet. Hold it closer like this. Maybe that give me a little more control. Okay. I try to abrade the least amount possible, but that strategy gets on my nerves. When it's not working that well. So, and then having to abrade too much also gets on my nerves. So this is usually what I call the sweat stage, when it starts to get on my nerves or it starts to get stressful. Yeah. I was touching that right in the middle, but I don't think I stopped it. Hopefully I didn't stop that flake. I don't know. The bopper can remove some really nice flakes, some big ones, that the indirect percussion has a harder time doing. But I think I'm going to have to switch, because I'm getting crackiola. Crackiola pudding on the edges. Yikes. Dicey. It's dicey to strike into a steppy, crunchy area, but it worked that time. It doesn't always work. Why take the risk? I can take it now at this stage because it's still preliminary. It's still preliminary. I still have room to do damage control and that kind of thing. Toward the end, it gets more difficult. And that's the strategizing part. I can think about the strategy, the overall progress of the thing without having to torture myself with thinking about each individual strike. Alright. So overall, what does this material feel like? It feels like it's very easy to remove a flake, but there's some consequences. There's crushing, and the terminations are not friendly to you. See that? You can get a good flake, big and wide, but the terminations, look at that. They don't like it. What does that mean? What kind of material does that? It's brittle material. Yeah, of course, glass is brittle, but there's some glass and some obsidian that's more flexible than others. This is not the flexible type. No, H. This is the brittle type, and some people don't like it. So you might find the video useful just on that particular bit of information. You might go to Glass Buttes and go, oh, I saw some guy knapping this stuff that has the lines in it, and he said it was crunchy. That's all I remember. He said it was Captain Crunch Obsidian. So I'm going to go get something else. You'd be wise, yes, to do so. Go get something else. Now, somebody asked me, can you send me some trash obsidian flakes so I can practice? I said, sure. Look how much of it I got. I got lots. So, let's see, I'll probably send them this batch right here. Because I'm thinking to myself, I'm not going to nap it, you nap it. I'm not going to nap it, you nap it. It's like Mikey eating the life cereal. I'm not going to try it, you try it. Or Mikey's brothers, anyway. Who knows, maybe he'll like it. Send him a batch of these flakes and maybe he'll like it. Hey, Mikey, he likes it. Yeah. His name's not Mike, by the way. Anyways, don't be asking for those flakes, because I don't send them to just anybody. If it's not in the auction, you're not going to get them. You know, I've got very few projects I do on the side. Yeah. Alright. Very few requests or so-called orders on the side because they interfere with my videos and my napping practice to do other things. The way I like to spend my time off camera is to work on other techniques and stuff like that and explore how do I get better with pressure flaking, how do I get better with percussion, how do I get better with certain things instead of having to fill orders. I like to try to develop my skills in a certain area. That's what I like to do with my off time, off camera. Yeah. One of my least favorite things to do is go through my stash and look for stuff to send to people or to sell them flakes and stuff because it takes away my practice time. eats into my overall life goal of trying to get better at certain things. Yeah. Nothing personal. It just doesn't jive with what I want to do in life. And sometimes I go look for stuff that I might have to send to someone. I say, oh, I might have some of that. Let me go look. And I find out I don't have any. I just wasted 3 hours. I thought I had some. Or I have some, but it's not the right size, or it's all cracked. It's like the lower quality of the stuff. You know, I start napping into it and I go, dang, I thought this was better quality. Here we go. I gotta tell them I don't have it. And then gotta try to get it from somebody. I think I know a guy that has it. So there I go. I don't practice my skills. I've taken up to a week to try to find some materials for a certain thing. I got a lot of rock stashed, but it's all small like this. Let's see, where's a good... It's all like 2 inches. I got a lot of 2-inch pieces. I got a lot of this kind of stuff. But looking for specific ones by request can take me a whole week. Why does it take me that long? Well, for one, if I find it and I think it's it, I start napping on it. Oops, that probably isn't quite right. And I start napping on another piece. Okay, maybe this one will work. I have to sort it. And look for alternatives. Because a lot of times I cannot find exactly what we need. Okay, I'm gonna go through looking for alternatives. Or I'll think I know where it is, but I'll look and look and look and look and look, and I thought I had it, but where'd it go? I don't got it. You didn't look enough. My brain says you didn't look hard enough. Okay, there I go, looking more and more and more. Still looking for it. Can you find it? No, I didn't find it. I thought I had it. Let me look even harder. Let me go through it again. Maybe I'm looking straight at it and didn't see it. Still don't find it. How many days have you spent looking? I think 2 days so far. You got that many flakes? Yeah, I got that many flakes. And I gotta test them. I mean, I don't have that many, but I do have to test them if I find it. Now, I'm not a rock seller, and that's why I don't sell rocks, because that kind of activity drives me insane. Some guys don't mind it. They got inventories, and they'll spend the time to go look through their inventories, because that's what they do. They've chosen to do that instead of napping. Yeah. Which is perfectly great, because then I don't have to do it. I can just refer someone to someone else. That's their thing. I know a guy that will look for flakes for you for days. Yeah. Oh yes. And he'll like it. And that makes the world better. When I can refer people to guys like that. Yeah. Okay. I'm still running into the issue of it being too wide to make nice terminations, and I'm trying to keep it wide. Yeah, see, it is going past halfway. It is going past halfway, and doing some damage control, but just barely. Just barely. What is the width? It's 4 inches right now. Yeah, and it's 9 3/4. What was it? 10. Yeah, so we did not lose much on the length. Not yet. It looks pretty good. I don't see any curve developing, so we should be able to keep the length. Should. Yeah. Isn't Flintknapping all about gaining control? Yes, but it's also managing the risk. Can't control it all. A lot of it is taking risks. Yep. And sometimes it doesn't work all that great. As long as you don't take excessive risks, you can usually get the flake you want. You know, keep your expectations a little bit low. Especially with material that you can't predict how the terminations are going to go. Can you predict on some materials? Yes. Glass, man-made glass being one of those materials that you can predict with a reasonable certainty what's going to happen because it's very consistent. This isn't too bad, this piece of obsidian, but I've seen some that it's not consistent, and you can knap well in one direction, but in the other direction it doesn't knap as well, and it is the material. This one seems to be okay. But we're still not at the thin stage. So I don't know yet. A lot of this obsidian also reacts well to strikes that are not primarily inward, but downward strikes. I try to do a lot of inward strikes with obsidian because it spoils you. Sometimes they work beautifully when you do an inward strike. But just when you think you've mastered it, you'll get a big old scoop out, or something will go wrong. Because that's just the nature of risk. Yeah. You get lucky and you think it's skill, and you try to depend on that luck because you think it's skill, and that's when you run into problems. How do you know when it's luck and when it's skill? Well, one easy way is when you're surprised that it did it. If you're surprised that it did it, that's luck in most cases. Alright? If you go, man, it actually did it, then that's probably luck. Don't say to yourself, I mastered it. No. The default reaction is, that was probably luck. So don't push your luck. Don't push it. Don't depend on it. Yeah. That should be your reaction, not, ooh, I'm good at it. Ooh, I'm good now. I'm not saying that some of you are not good, because you are. I'm just saying it'll help you in the long run if you don't get too cocky. Yeah. Don't become a Dunning-Kruger. If you don't know what that is, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't become a Dunning-Kruger. Yeah. Don't overestimate your capabilities. Yeah. That's for the dum-dums. You don't want to be a dum-dum. If you have a really good day, chances are the next day is not going to be good. Yeah, because you can't always have good days. Don't worry, you got to look at the big picture. Okay, I'm trying to get it thinner without losing too much width. That's the standard procedure that I use. If it doesn't work well, then I take a lot of the width off. If I can do it, I will keep the width. But I have no problem going more narrow unless it's a specific type, or if I have to make it to spec. Like the guy wants something wide and thin. Okay, I don't do those very often. I'll try it. I used to do those a lot. I don't do them anymore. You know, work to spec. If it works out that I can make one, fine. If it doesn't, you're not getting it. That's all there is to it. Trying to guarantee something to specs is one of those games that you need a lot of resources. I try to do this with the minimum amount of resources. Yeah. Minimum amount of inventory, minimum amount of resources, minimum amount of time. Yeah. I'm a professional napper now, so I'm devoting a lot more time to this. But I don't want it taking up all my time. Yeah, taking off these big flakes removes quite a bit of the edge, even when I grind it down a lot. And I gotta hit that sweet zone where I am hitting inward, but not as much as I normally hit inward. I gotta hit downward a little bit more than I am used to. That's called a tweak. It's not called a specific technique. It's called a tweak of a technique. Yeah. It's all the same technique with just little tweaks. It's taken me years to prove that to myself. It's basically all the same technique with just a little tweak. Okay? It rhymes, that means it's a rule. It's all the same technique with just a little tweak. And everything has its little sweet spots. Okay. Come on. I know you can do it. You almost did it. If I had tweaked it just a little bit more, maybe a little bit more grinding, something. Not harder hit, because that hit was hard enough. It may have just been the striking area was too crunchy, too thin, and got crunchy. Sometimes the striking area has incipients. Okay, watch out for those little existing cracks that you install. Yeah. Okay, so this is the sweat stage. This is the stage where I'm hitting it hard enough to snap it. Yeah. Because I want big, bold flakes. Because that's my technique. Now I can hit this piece less hard, but more often, and get little flakes instead of these big ones. I don't like the flakery look. I don't like too many small flakes. So my overall strategy is the big, bold flake look. But I let my subconscious take over the actual removals. And my conscious mind can try the little tweaks every now and then, or pick up on what might be working better, and just tweak it. Yeah. But for the most part, my subconscious knows how to make the big, wide flakes. It knows, and it knows without me trying to figure out how it knows or what it knows. I just know it knows, okay? Because I can see it. I can see it, the results of it. I can't see it in my mind that it's going to be, that it's there in the subconscious. I just know that, okay, I'm going to try this, and it worked. That means I must know. Yeah. I kind of can predict, but when I start getting too cocky and think I can predict, I run into problems. So I've got to back off slightly in my thinking that I can actually predict. I've got to make sure that I don't take too many risks. Don't get too cocky thinking, yeah, I can do that. Sure, just let me try it. Just let me try it. You know, you're starting to get a little too cocky. Yeah, but just let me try it. That's what the brain goes through. Maybe it's bored. I'm bored of the same old safe stuff. I want adventure. Yeah. The brain sometimes wants adventure, so it just says, let's just go for it. That's the ADHD people. They want novelty. They want adventure, stimulation, but not too much stimulation. It's really annoying dealing with the ADHD brain and the ADHD person. Yeah. Yep. If you know where they're coming from, it's a little bit easier. If you know your brain is doing certain things that you just can't help, it makes it easier to deal with. Yeah. I used to get down on myself and really be self-critical because of the executive dysfunction and all that. But I can't do that. Can't be that way. because a lot of it cannot be helped. It's hardwired. That was lucky. Because I can't believe I did it! I didn't think I was going to be able to go that far with that flake. So that's lucky. Yeah. Alright, so I'm at the stage where I have to really focus, or it's just not going to work. See, toward the end is where you have to exert a lot of mental energy in focusing. And focus is such a weird word, because what I'd like to do mostly is just clear my mind of everything except what I'm doing, but I'm not going to micromanage what I'm doing. I'm just going to do it, but tell my brain, okay, quiet, quiet everybody. Tell my brain to quiet down so I can do it. I guess it's like a golf game, right? When the golfer is up toward the end of the, the last hole, he's trying to minimize the number of putts or whatever. I don't play golf, but it's the same principle. It gets harder and harder as you get closer and closer to the end. Because you got to make your shots count. You got to be very exact. As far as I can tell, when I watch golf, everyone gets really quiet toward the end when they're putting, try to get it in. Nobody talks, so you can hear a pin drop. Same in Flintknapping. No. Do not scratch. I went like this by mistake. Mm-hmm. Isn't it always the way? I think I can do it, but it's dicey. Why does it do that? Those are the high spots. Okay. All right, it's getting to the point where it's getting flexible, so it creates these radial cracks. See that radial crack? That's because of the flexibility of the blade. Okay. That means it's starting to get too thin in the middle. Okay. Yeah, I don't want that at all. Yep, it's starting to get too thin in the middle for its length. And I'm using a lot of power when I'm striking. It's not a good combination. That crack can open up and then ruin the whole thing. Dang it. So the object is not to get much thinner than this, especially in the middle. That is now a weak spot. Yep. It's not too bad, but it's not good. All right. Okay, it's 2 hours, and what I'm trying to do is carefully clean up the face, but it's not working. And I've also got to clean out this crack still. I keep making it more and more narrow, and it just does not want to cooperate. I'm trying to think of a way of refining this edge without taking another hour, because I could easily spend 1 more hour on it cleaning up this face. If I go slowly and pick at it with a pressure flaker. I would like to do this, get rid of the mess in an expedient way. What messed me up was this crack here. I spent like 30 minutes dealing with figuring out how to set up this edge here to run flakes on this side last, so I can finally get that out. Because if I do that first, it's going to scoop out too much and cause a curve. But if I take everything else off and then leave a lump there that I can take off last, that was my plan. But it didn't work. I ended up stepping it right there, right where it was, exactly where it was not supposed to step. And it took a long time before I actually hit that. Usually when I wait to strike an area, it'll be alright, but it didn't work in this case. So and the battery power is getting low too, so I've got to wrap this up. I don't know if I can clean up this face. I really don't know if I can actually do it. With this material being so crunchy, I don't know if I can do it. It's starting to get way too thin. Yeah. I can still take some flakes. I just took that one, so it's not impossible. I don't know. But if I practice cleaning up other areas first, get a better feel for it. But I've been trying to get a better feel for it this whole time, and I still do not have a good feel for it yet. I'm just ruining my normal flake pattern, which is bold flakes. I'm ruining it with the, well, not ruining it, but I'm modifying it with these little bitty flakes, just so I can creep up on the damage control without, without risking too much. Yeah, but it leaves it too flakery. I mean, not breaking it is good, right? But I want to not break it and not be too flakery. Yeah, see, I can still take these off, but I thought I could take these flakes off here in the middle, but it didn't work. If it's the material, then it's really bad luck. That one spot where it's exactly not supposed to act up is the bad spot in the material. I mean, I've had luck like that before, but I don't think that's it. I think it's just part of it is just not getting the right hit. You know, choking at the exact wrong time. Yeah, I can get flakes. Okay, so I don't see what the problem is. The thing is, I cannot mess up that flake. You know, that's the problem. I cannot mess that one up, and I'm not used to that. I'm used to having more than one option. If I only have one option, then it's like a 50-50. The more options I have to remove a flake, the more successful I am. The less options I have, the more that bad luck will creep in. See, there's not that many opportunities to take a flake into the area, into this area right here. The one with the crack there and that mess, they both require big flakes. But removing a big flake at this point is what actually caused this crack earlier. So I got to keep that in mind. If I make it too narrow, I'm weakening the whole thing. You know, to get closer to the obstacles. I spent a long time thinning the tip and the base. So I can quit right now, stick it in the brokes and bifaces, or I can just go for it. Let's see. Yeah, it's not moving in that direction. It does not, it gets all crunchy right there, right where it's not supposed to get crunchy. Yeah, I can take it, I can go more narrow, but damn. Yeah, it's going to get curved. If I curve it, I can get it out. I just don't want to curve the piece. You know, intentionally put a curve in it. To scoop out that mess. Dang. I don't know. No, see, it's not going to do it. I can feel it resisting it. It doesn't want to flake in that direction. Yeah, I hit a roadblock with every flake. See, it doesn't do it on that side. Yeah. It does it a little bit, but not as badly. I think that was the only solution, was just to power through there, but those flakes wanted to dive. See that? Luckily they didn't. Almost. I think they terminated without... I don't think there's a continuation of that termination. Yeah. They terminated without diving. Yeah, it needs to be thicker than this. Yeah. So I pushed it to the limit. I think the ratio might have been better earlier, the width to thickness ratio. Yeah, I can't take it any further than that. Yeah, I can try a little bitty flakes now here and there. Come on. Yeah, battery power is 5%. I could try cleaning up a little bit here and there. It's not too bad as far as the flakes cooperating in other areas. Yeah, see, it cooperates there. It just didn't cooperate here in the middle, but I think that's it. I'm going to call it good. You know, I'll sharpen it up off camera. Or maybe not. I might just end up offering it just like that. Just like it is. Maybe. We'll see. I'll look at it with fresh eyes tomorrow. Yeah. See what I can do. Yes, dust everywhere from the abrading. Alright, so that's the best I can do. Luckily it didn't ruin it. But I had to, you know, really push my luck. Yeah. There is a big scoop out, but it's not too bad. Luckily, that's luck. It didn't ruin it as far as the blade integrity. That was lucky. That flake could have dived in and split the whole thing, or taken a big chunk out. The crack that I installed earlier is still there, but it's minimal. Alright, so that's it. I gotta go in. Yeah, the battery's about to die anyway. I might just offer it like this. It depends on how I feel tomorrow. Let's see. 9.5 by 2.5, and it's probably 6:1. Let's see, 66 by 8 millimeter. Is that what that says? Yeah. 8:1. Right? I don't know. I gotta remeasure it. It looks thicker than 8:1. Yeah. 66 by